opening hook. Powerful, emotional, instant attention. On a quiet morning at Camp Hunter, where new recruits trained under the harsh sun and even harsher discipline, something happened that no one expected. 3 recruits, loud, smug, and hungry for power, had cornered a woman in a wheelchair. A soldier, a veteran, a fighter. Her service dog whimpered beside her, tail tucked, ears down, until one recruit lifted his boot and kicked the dog. What they didn't know, what they couldn't know, was that the man walking toward them at that exact moment was a Navy SEAL with more combat deployments than they had years on Earth. And the moment he saw what they did, everything changed. This is United War, and today's story is one you will never forget. Intro. Smooth storytelling flow. Her name was Sergeant Alina Ward. Before the wheelchair, she had served as an Army communications specialist. Fast, brilliant, decorated. Before the accident, she ran 5 miles every morning, outshooting half her unit. Before the explosion, she had a future filled with promotions and promise. Now, she moved silently across the base, wheels rolling softly, her service dog Valor guiding her with gentle nudges. Most soldiers respected her. Some admired her. A few pitied her. But the new batch of recruits, the ones still swollen with ego and untested confidence, they didn't see the scars she earned. They only saw the wheels and weakness. The recruits. The 3 troublemakers, Corbin, Myers, and Lane, had caused problems since day 1. They mocked anyone who struggled, dismissed orders with smirks, and treated the base like a playground. That morning, they spotted Alina rolling down the courtyard, Valor walking calmly at her side. Corbin nudged the others. "Look at this. The Army's daycare program is getting bigger." Myers laughed. Lane sneered, and the 3 walked toward her with the kind of false confidence that only comes from stupidity. The first encounter. Alina saw them coming. She had dealt with men like this before. She didn't flinch, didn't show fear, just glided forward, eyes steady, posture straight. "Need something?" she asked, voice calm. Corbin leaned over her wheelchair, blocking her path. "Yeah," he said, "directions. You see, we're looking for someone who actually belongs here." Valor growled softly. Myers chuckled. "Huh, look at the dog. Thinks he's tough." Lane stepped closer. "Probably trained to fetch her pity points." Alina kept her voice even. "You 3 should walk away now." But bullies rarely listen to warnings, especially from someone they underestimate. Corbin smirked and reached down, not to touch her, but to shove her wheelchair backward just an inch, just enough to humiliate her, just enough to show power. But Valor snapped, lunged forward, and barked sharply, teeth bared. And that's when it happened. Lane raised his boot and kicked the dog. The moment everything changed. Valor yelped and stumbled, rolling to Alina's side. Something inside her cracked. Not fear, not pain. Something deeper. A fire that had been sleeping for months woke up in an instant. Her voice dropped low. "You just made the biggest mistake of your life." But before she could do anything, before she could even wheel forward, a new voice cut through the courtyard like a blade. "Hey!" A man's shadow stretched across the ground, long and sharp. The recruits turned, annoyed, until they saw him. Enter the Navy SEAL. Lieutenant Cole Maddox, a Navy SEAL attached to Camp Hunter as a tactical advisor, was walking toward them with the kind of controlled fury only warfighters possess. Square jaw, broad shoulders, navy blue training shirt, and eyes that had seen enough battlefields to judge a man's soul in 1 second. His boots hit the pavement with heavy, final steps. The courtyard fell silent. Someone whispered, "That's the SEAL, the one with 9 deployments." Another whispered, "Someone's about to die." Cole stopped just inches from Corbin, looking at him like evaluating a threat, not a person. "What?" Cole asked quietly. "Did you just do?" Corbin swallowed. Myers shifted. Lane tried to stand taller, but Cole stepped closer, voice tightening. "Did you just put your hands on a disabled veteran and kick her service dog?" Corbin tried to speak. "Sir, it was—" Cole barked. "Don't talk." The recruits froze. Every soldier nearby turned to watch. Valor crawled behind Cole's leg, whimpering softly. Cole's eyes landed on Lane. "You kicked the dog?" Lane's mouth trembled. I didn't." Cole leaned forward, voice like steel. "Say that again. Say you didn't mean it. I want to hear the lie from up close." Lane couldn't say a word. Cole's verdict. Cole reached down and gently touched Valor's head, checking for injury. His jaw tightened. Then he looked up at the recruits. "You think strength is hurting someone weaker? You think you're soldiers because you can bully someone in a chair?" His voice lowered. "You three aren't soldiers. You're liabilities." Alina watched him, not with fear, not with gratitude, but with a quiet recognition. She knew men like him, men who stand when others stay silent, men who protect. Cole stood tall, his presence towering. "You're done for training today. Report to the disciplinary barracks now." Corbin tried to protest. Cole's voice boomed. "Move!" They ran. But this was just the beginning, because Cole Maddox wasn't stepping in once. He had seen something that morning, a woman who refused to be broken, and a dog.
The courtyard remained unusually silent after the three recruits ran, disappearing into the barracks like startled animals. But Lieutenant Cole Maddox didn't move. He stayed right where he was, standing between Alina, her wheelchair, and the rest of the world, like a steel barricade that no one had asked for, but everyone needed. Valor pressed against Alina's leg supports, still trembling. Cole knelt beside him, running skilled hands over the dog's ribs and paws. "He's okay," Cole said quietly. "No fractures, just scared." Alina nodded, her face calm but her knuckles white on the wheel rims. "Thank you," she whispered. She didn't want gratitude to show, didn't want pity. But the moment Cole stood, she saw something in his eyes that wasn't pity at all. It was respect, and something else she couldn't name yet. The SEAL's questions begin. Cole folded his arms, looking down at her wheelchair, not judging, not studying, simply acknowledging it like any other piece of gear. "I've seen a lot of things on bases," he said, "but recruits bullying a wounded veteran? That's new." Alina gave a faint, humorless laugh. "You'd be surprised." Cole shook his head. "No, I'm not surprised. I'm angry." He stepped to her side, lowering his voice. "Who are those three connected to? Someone covering for them?" Alina sighed. "They're trouble, but they know how to behave when officers are around. I've filed reports, nothing sticks." Cole's jaw tightened. Someone's protecting them. "Or ignoring them," Alina corrected. Cole's eyes hardened. "I don't ignore things." And there it was, a promise disguised as a simple statement. The chain of command. Cole marched straight to Captain Rourke's office, the head of recruit training, and Alina reluctantly followed, Valor at her side. Rourke looked up from his desk, surprised. "Lieutenant Maddox, Sergeant Ward, what's this about?" Cole didn't waste time. "3 of your recruits assaulted a service dog and harassed a disabled veteran." Rourke's expression shifted into something uncomfortable. Maddox, I'm sure this is a misunderstanding. These boys are... Cole cut in sharply. Boys don't belong in uniform. For a moment, Rourke remained silent, unsure how to push back against a SEAL who outranked him in experience, reputation, and raw presence. Alina watched quietly, letting Cole stand up for her. It was a strange feeling, having someone stand up before she needed to defend herself. But she didn't interrupt. Rourke cleared his throat. "I'll review the security footage." Cole nodded. "Good. And when you do, consider this. If someone like me hadn't been there," he gestured toward Alina, "would you be filing a condolence letter right now?" Rourke swallowed hard. He didn't answer. He didn't need to. Alina's past surfaces. Outside the office, Alina rolled toward the courtyard bench and parked her chair beneath the shade. Valor climbed up beside her, head resting on her lap. Cole stood nearby, arms crossed. "You didn't freeze," he said softly, "when they cornered you." "Why would I?" she replied. He studied her face, not with pity, but curiosity. "Because most people would." "I'm not most people." Cole smirked, finally seeing a spark beneath her calm exterior. "No, you're definitely not." He knelt beside her again. "What happened?" he asked gently. "The chair, the dog, the way you watched them. You weren't afraid of those recruits. I could see that." Alina inhaled slowly. "You want the long version or the classified version?" "Whichever one doesn't get me arrested for knowing," Cole replied. And for the first time since the incident, Alina smiled. A small one. A real one. She stared ahead, eyes losing focus as her mind drifted back. "I was in Afghanistan. Outpost Dagger. Second tour." Cole nodded. He'd heard of it. A rough place. One of the worst rotation points for communication officers. "The convoy I was in hit an IED. I was the only one conscious when the truck flipped. The radio was crushed. Everything went dark." Her voice stayed steady, but Cole saw the grief flicker behind her words. "I dragged the driver out. Crawled half an hour using my elbows. Lost a lot of blood. By the time they found us, my spine was damaged." Cole didn't speak, didn't interrupt. He knew heroes when he met them, but the bravest ones always told their stories like they were nothing. Alina continued. "Valor was assigned to me 6 months later. They said he'd help with mobility and panic attacks. Turns out he also has excellent taste in people." Cole smiled faintly. "He chose you?" Alina nodded. "And I chose to come back to service." She looked Cole in the eyes. "So don't treat me like I'm fragile. I can take care of myself." Cole raised his hands in surrender. "I know. I'm not here to protect you." He leaned closer. "I'm here to stop the idiots who think they can test you." But not everyone was willing to let go of what happened that morning. Corbin, Myers, and Lane sat together in the disciplinary barracks, faces flushed with humiliation and anger. Corbin slammed his fist into the metal table. "That Navy SEAL made us look stupid." Myers scowled. "The wheelchair witch got lucky." Corbin leaned in, whispering darkly, "We're going to make her pay for embarrassing us." Myers grinned. "Tonight? Tonight." They didn't know it yet, but they had chosen the worst night of their lives. Because that night, Alina wouldn't be alone, and the SEAL wasn't done with them. Not by a long shot.
The base always grew quiet at night, a silence broken only by distant generators and boots crunching faint gravel. But this night carried something different, a sharpness, a tension. Corbin, Myers, and Lane slipped out at the barracks like shadows with bad intentions. They weren't whispering now. Whispers required thought. They were angry, and angry men do stupid things. Myers clenched a flashlight, Lane carried a metal pipe he had duct taped to look like a training baton. Corbin, as always, led the pack with arrogance instead of intelligence. "You sure she's in the rehab wing?" Myers asked. Corbin nodded. "She always takes Valor for a walk at night. We finish what we started." What they didn't know, what they couldn't possibly know, was that someone else walked those grounds every night too. And he wasn't sleeping, not after seeing what they did. Cole's instincts kick in. Lieutenant Cole Maddox was mid-patrol when he heard the footsteps. 3 sets. Hurried. Uncoordinated. Not officers, not security. Recruits. Up past curfew. Cole's expression hardened. He followed in silence, moving like a hunter tracking prey, breathing controlled, footsteps soft, body blending into the darkness. The recruits rounded the corner toward the rehab center. Cole's pulse ticked once. Just once. "That's where she is," he muttered under his breath. He quickened his steps. Alina and Valor's night routine. Meanwhile, Alina Ward wheeled herself down the dim hallway, Valor walking beside her with his vest on. Service dog, do not distract. She wasn't fragile, not weak, not helpless. But she wasn't careless either. She had survived an explosion, survived spinal surgery, survived the quiet nights where memories were louder than gunfire. She could survive this too. Valor nudged her leg gently, his way of saying he sensed something. Not danger yet, but disturbance. "Easy," she whispered, rubbing his head. "It's probably just a new recruit getting lost." But even she didn't fully believe that. The confrontation begins. As Alina reached the back courtyard, she saw silhouettes break from the shadows. 3. Her hands instinctively locked on her wheel rims. Valor growled, low, deep, protective. Corbin stepped forward. Well, look who's out for a midnight roll." Lane tapped the metal pipe against his palm. "You got us in trouble. Now we're getting even." Alina didn't flinch, didn't back down. She spoke calmly, like she was briefing a unit. "You really want to add assaulting a disabled veteran to your list of mistakes?" Myers sneered. "Who's gonna stop us?" The base lights flickered, just enough for her to see their faces twisted with resentment. And then she saw something else. Movement. A dark figure stepping silently behind them. Cole Maddox. She didn't say a word. She didn't need to. She watched. Waited. The SEAL enters the scene. Cole approached like a storm on legs. "Evening, boys." 3 heads snapped around. 3 bodies froze. 3 heartbeats dropped down their throats. Cole crossed his arms, muscles shifting under his shirt like coiled ropes. "We having ourselves a little illegal meeting?" he asked casually. Corbin swallowed hard. "Lieutenant, this isn't... We were just..." "Oh, I know exactly what you were doing, and you're about to wish you stayed in bed." Lane gripped his pipe tighter, shaking. "You don't scare us." Cole raised an eyebrow. "You don't?" He leaned forward, voice dropping to a lethal calm. "Son, I trained in buds. I swim with sharks for exercise. I once held a door shut during a firefight with my leg because I was too busy saving my team with both hands." Then he smiled. It wasn't friendly. "And you think you 3 scare me?" Myers dropped his flashlight. Lane's knees bent involuntarily. Corbin tried to hold a brave face and failed. Alina steps in and takes command. Before Cole could move further, Alina spoke. "Stand down, Lieutenant." Cole turned, confused but obedient. Alina rolled forward, positioning herself between him and the recruits. "Let me talk to them." Cole frowned. "They came here armed. And I came here prepared." She turned to the recruits, voice steady. "You think I'm an easy target because of this chair. You think disability means vulnerability.
Lane snorted. Well, yeah. Alina smiled sadly. Then you haven't learned a thing about real soldiers. Valor moved beside her, alert but calm. You saw a wheelchair. Cole saw a veteran who survived something you can't even imagine, who saved a life while bleeding on the sand, who earned every stripe. Corbin clenched his jaw. And what, we're supposed to respect you? No, you're supposed to grow up. Her voice sharpened, cutting through them like a blade. If 3 untrained bullies need to gang up on a disabled soldier, that doesn't make you powerful. She leaned closer. It makes you weak. The words hit harder than anything Cole could have said, and the recruits knew it. The small moment that changed everything. Silence settled over the courtyard. Deep, heavy, guilty. Cole stepped behind Alina again, but his expression had changed. He wasn't just defending her now. He was admiring her, respecting her strength in a way that most people never would. Corbin dropped the pipe first. Lane followed. Myers looked at Valor as if seeing him for the first time. We didn't know your story. Alina nodded. And you didn't need to. You just needed to act like soldiers. Cole folded his arms. You 3 will report yourselves to Captain Rourke at 0700. No excuses. No one protested. They walked away, shoulders low, pride crushed, but minds finally awake. The unexpected truth. When they were gone, Cole crouched beside Alina. You didn't need me at all, did you? Alina exhaled. I didn't say that. Well, he grinned. You handled that better than most officers would have. Cole, she said quietly, they weren't afraid of you. He blinked. They were afraid of what they saw in you. Cole tilted his head. And what did they see? Alina looked him straight in the eyes. Someone who doesn't back down. Cole's voice softened. Neither do you. Valor nudged them both, impatiently demanding attention. They laughed. Small, quiet, real. The kind of laugh wounded soldiers forget how to make. The night didn't feel cold anymore.
Sunrise rolled across Fort Granite like a soft golden tide, washing away the weight of the night, but not the consequences. At exactly 0700, Corbin, Myers, and Lane stood outside Captain Rourke's office, uniforms wrinkled, eyes red, jawlines clenched. They knew they were about to face the music, but they had no idea the entire base had already heard the song. Rumors spread fast. Faster than truth, faster than lies, faster than guilt. By morning chow, everyone knew. 3 recruits tried to corner the injured soldier in the rehab wing. Lieutenant Maddox stopped them. She talked them down herself. They kicked her service dog. They're done! Everyone whispered. Everyone judged. Everyone watched. And for the first time, the 3 recruits felt what Alina felt every day. Eyes on them. Pity for them. Judgment on them. They finally understood. Captain Rourke's verdict. The office door swung open. Captain Rourke, stern, broad-shouldered, voice like thunder, stood blocking the doorway. Inside, now. The recruits entered like soldiers walking toward a firing squad. Rourke didn't sit, didn't blink, didn't breathe as far as they could tell. 3 against 1, he said coldly, and 1 was in a wheelchair. Corbin swallowed. Sir, silence. His voice cracked like a whip. You dishonored this base. You dishonored that uniform. You dishonored yourselves. The recruits stared at the floor. Rourke stepped closer. Do you even know who she is? Silence. You bullied Sergeant Alina Ward, combat medic, Silver Star recipient, and the soldier who dragged 2 men from a burning vehicle while she was bleeding out. Myers blinked. Sir, we didn't know. You didn't ask, Rourke snapped. You assumed, and you acted like cowards. They winced.
Rourke finally inhaled. "You three have two choices. File for immediate discharge." He stepped forward, eyes burning. "Or face a disciplinary program run by Lieutenant Maddox himself." Corbin looked up. "Maddox? The Navy SEAL?" Rourke smiled, the way wolves smile before they bite. "That's the one." Cole's program, The Long Road Back. By afternoon, the recruits stood lined up in the training yard as Cole approached. But this time, they weren't smirking. They were terrified. Cole didn't raise his voice, didn't yell, didn't insult, didn't intimidate. He didn't have to. He simply said, "You're here because you lost your way. You can quit or climb back." Lane raised his hand weakly. "What do you want us to do, sir?" Cole pointed to the track. "You'll run. You'll train. You'll learn discipline." He paused. "But most importantly, you'll learn respect." Myers whispered, "Respect for who?" Cole's expression softened. "For every soldier who stands beside you, whether they're walking, limping, crawling, or rolling." Alina watched from the sidelines with Valor at her heel. She didn't smile, not yet, but she didn't look away either. The apology. 3 days into the brutal program, Cole walked the recruits to the rehab courtyard. Alina sat in her chair, fixing Valor's harness. Corbin stepped forward first. He stood tall, breathing hard, trying not to tremble. "Sergeant Ward," he said quietly, "I'm sorry." Then Myers, "We treated you like you were less." Then Lane, "And that wasn't right. Not ever." Alina studied each of them, not with anger, not with forgiveness, but with curiosity. She finally said, "You're learning." "That's all I ever wanted." Valor nudged their hands gently, letting them pet him, an unspoken gesture of peace. Alina exhaled, long, steady. It felt like something lifted from her chest. The final test. Later that week, Cole found Alina outside by the training field. "You know, you didn't need me that night." Alina glanced at him. "Maybe not. But you showed up anyway." Cole nodded. "Sometimes, that's all a soldier needs." She smiled. "For all of us." Valor nudged Cole's hand. A final symbol. Respect, unity, strength. And from that day on, no one, and I mean no one, ever underestimated Sergeant Alina Ward again.